nerds, welcome back. So us groomers all start from somewhere, right? And it can be really overwhelming to pick products from pages upon pages and not quite knowing what is necessary and what isn't and what works well. So in today's video, I just wanted to show you guys a very simple stripped down starter kit that I think every single groomer will benefit from greatly when they first start. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some budget-friendly options, and then if you want to splash out some money and invest in some really long-lasting products, I will also show some options for that as well. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so probably the most used bit in your kit is going to be your clippers. And what I strongly recommend, this is what I personally use as well when I was just starting out, is the Andis AGC 2-speed clippers. They are corded, they do add a little bit of bulk to the clipper at the end where the cord doesn't bend. You do get used to it pretty quickly, but it can be a little bit awkward with smaller dogs because you physically cannot fit the clippers underneath the dog. So you do need to get a little bit creative. And obviously with corded clippers comes a very long cord that you have to deal with. The best thing I have found is just to loop the excess cable over my H-bar so it's out of the way, but you do become a bit of a ninja with corded clippers as you try and dodge the cord so you don't cut it by accident. And if you want to go for something a bit more high-end straight off the bat, I do highly recommend the Staffies. These are the clippers that I have been using myself. They are absolutely wonderful. They are so reliable. They are, in my eyes, workhorse clippers. They will not let you down. And even if you go for the basic black bottle, which I have here, that only comes with one battery, I have never had an issue with the battery running out because I do always put my clippers back on in stock when I'm done with it. These do come in a variety of colors, and all the other models do have a spare battery. But if you just want to be on a bit more of a budget, the one battery version is going to be absolutely fine as long as you remember to pop the clippers back on the charger when you're not using it. And you may also want to spend some money on some trimmers. Now, you don't necessarily have to spend upwards of £100 on branded trimmers. I personally just spend about £20 on these little trimmers from Amazon. They have the length dial along here, so you can just simply twist the dial here to change the length of your blade. These trimmers go from around a 9 blade all the way down to 40, so they are very versatile. You can do hygiene, pads, poodle faces, anything that is a little bit fiddly and requires a smaller trimmer, and these are really quiet as well. So if you do have a small dog on the table that is just absolutely terrified of the noise of your normal clippers, these are a really great option because they do come with a few comb guards as well. So you do have a little bit of versatility with these as well. Okay, and to go with your clippers, you absolutely need some blades. You don't need to buy every single blade in existence. You will find that you will only use a certain few on a daily basis. I personally use a 4, 5, 7, occasionally a 10 and a 30 blade. As anything longer, I use comb attachments. Anything shorter, I use my little trimmers. My blade of choice is Andis Ultra Edge, but there are several different brands that produce blades. It's just about trial and error. See what you prefer, see what lasts you longest, and so on. And if you wanted to upgrade your blades, you will always have the option of going wide. So just to show you a side-to-side comparison with a normal blade, you can see how much more ground you can cover with a wide blade. Now, wide blades are really expensive and at the minute really hard to get hold of. With the world as it is at the moment, there are lots of issues with stock movement, and as soon as they come in stock with any supplier, they sell out immediately. I'm currently on a hunt for more wide blades. I only have a 7 and a 5, but patiently waiting, and hopefully I'll be able to expand my collection later on. And speaking of comb attachments, you absolutely have to invest in some. Comb attachments just simply give you such a wide range of length to work with, and especially poodle mixes being so popular, and with a lot of owners wanting to keep their dogs in a longer coat, you absolutely need some comb attachments. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any wide comb attachments for the reasons explained just a while ago. I am working on it, so right now I don't have a comparison to show you guys, but I will link a few suppliers down in the description along with all the other products I'm showing you guys, so you can keep an eye out. And if you do want to invest in some wide blades and comb attachments, again, very expensive in comparison to the standard ones, you know where to look out for them. And just to quickly mention what blade I always use under comb attachments, I will always use a 30 blade. Now, this is down to personal preference. Some groomers use a 10 or a 15, but I have found that with a 30, I get the smoothest finish and the least clogged hair in between the comb attachment and the blade. Okay, next up is scissors. Now this is going to be one of those areas that is going to be really personal for everyone. One type of scissor that works really well for me may not work for the next person and so on, but I do have a couple brands that I do really recommend. And the first one is Roseline. When I started my college course, I strongly recommended Roseline. I bought a pack of 3 scissors that came with these straights, thinners and small straights. Now I don't use the small straights or the thinners anymore, I've moved on, but I still use these straights for heavy bulk work. They are really reliable. I've had these sharpened maybe once in 5 years. Really good quality scissor and not very expensive either. So on top of really good quality straight scissors, you do really want to get some thinners. Thinners are really safe around faces, especially under eyes, and you can do a lot of finishing work with thinners just to get like little wispy bits out of the coat and just to tidy up everywhere. I personally really like going around dogs' heads with thinners once I've got the shape in. It's just to create like a very nice natural finish, and they are just a really good all-rounder when you're not quite confident with just going straight in with your stretch scissors or even curves. And speaking of curves, there's such a wide variety of different curves you can get. You can get curves with a straight blade, you can get curves with thinners or chunkers, anything like that, but you do want to look out for beginner friendly curves that don't necessarily have the biggest curve. As you can see, these ones, they are almost straight. These are a very beginner friendly option. These are from Christies, just like my thinners are. They are their Astrid range. These scissors are really great for around feet as they have a very thin tip. They are very agile around feet, and I also really like using these to get a round head shape on a dog. With scissors, you can really splash out some money. For example, Kenchi scissors can be up to 1,000, or you can go for really cheap. A while ago, I tried out some scissors from a website called Dog Groomers Rock. I will link the video up in the top corner there and also in the description below if you wanted to check that out. The basic gist of them is that they are very cheap. I didn't spend an awful lot of money on all of these 5 pairs of scissors. They are very budget friendly, very starter friendly, but they are not necessarily the best quality in the world. I've had these for just slightly over a year now, and I've pretty much replaced all of these scissors because they are not holding a sharp edge very well. They are quite a soft metal, but if you want to try out a lot of different scissors without spending a lot of money, they are a really good option. I believe you can get these same scissors from places like AliExpress as well. You just may need to be prepared to pay a little bit of customs, taxes, and wait a couple weeks for the delivery. And lastly, but absolutely not the least, you need a good quality slicker brush and a comb. So my old faithful slicker brush is the Sheltec Tougher Than Tangles slicker, and as you can see, it's got really nice long pins. This is just such a universal brush to have. It works amazing with woolly coats, with double coats, literally anything that needs a brushing. And you can buy different kind of brushes for different kind of coats, but this is a really good universal one to have. It will work with literally anything. And you also want to buy yourself a metal comb, ideally with long pins, so again it reaches all the way down to the skin like a good slicker brush does. And this is just to check your brush work afterwards, just to make sure that you've got all the tangles out of the coat, because if you slack on prep, you want to get a nice finish on the coat. So you absolutely need a slicker brush and a comb. Okay, so that is the very basic equipment you will need to get started with grooming. Whether you're going to be a professional dog groomer or just doing it as a hobby to groom your own dogs, good quality equipment is going to get you to the best possible start. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any other suggestions on what could be included in a dog grooming starter kit, do leave them down below in the comments, and let's have a chat about what our favorite equipment was when we first started out. And as always, if you did like the video, do leave it a little thumbs up. It supports my channel more than you can imagine, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Dog Grooming Nerd so you don't miss my next video. Bye guys!